What's up, guys? Tonight I'm going to be talking about man's true value, right? So, as you guys know, sometimes I go live without a topic, sometimes I go live with a topic. So, today, tonight, actually, it's a very special night because with all this happening around the world, and we're not going to go through it, this is not what I mean. This is not what I want to talk about this night, tonight. So, the real value in man, what is it, right? Is it tangible? Is it physical, spiritual? How can we measure it, right? And of course, we're gonna have a lot of theories, a lot of data that can back up this thing. But based on my experience, personal knowledge, and research, in man true value relies if he is healthy, right? Why is it that health plays a very important role in this? Well, how many times have you been sick and you enjoy your day? Mhm. Answer that one. How many times have you been sick with whatever, from a regular flu to something more chronic? How many times have you enjoyed that day? How many times have you been productive when you were sick, right? If we be if we're honest, the answer will be zero, right? Zero. Why? Because when you're sick, you cannot do nothing. You can't do nothing, guys. That's the thing. Huh? How you guys? Thank you guys for your support. Thank you. Right? Hello. Right? So, man's value, we've heard many times. I'm not gonna go through the names because I'm not that person. I'm not that person, right? You are born with no value. It's a lie. As a man, you are born with the most precious value that anybody and anything can have, and it's breath. You're alive, you have a life, and you're healthy. Then up up to then it's up to you what you want to do. But I'm gonna go through the phases, the stages, because I want to make this clear, right? How you doing? Hi, Camilla. So man's value is rated and measured on base of his physical strength and mental strength. Okay. So when we hear the word strength, we always think about physical, right? Can he lift weights? Can he push this weight? Can he is he strong to do this? It is 50%. The other 50% is mental, right? What's the other 50% mental? Okay, let's say something happened to you that day and you cannot perform because you were sick with something, right? But because you know that your true value is not on having money or having woman left or right or having any material gain, but it's only health. Because when you're healthy, that's the only proof that you can generate wealth. All right. So true fact. All right. What's up, Fusey? Another half cell. What's up? Right. So it is very important to understand, guys, that I started this channel for the purpose to the few, right? Not to the many. I don't care about the many. I don't care about the many. I just care about the few. Few people in the right places make big differences. On the contrary, big masses controlled by the few make no difference or little difference at all, right? So I'm gonna based, and I know you guys have free will to look on all the social media and everywhere, and you're gonna hear that man has no value if he has or he doesn't own possessions, right? We heard of that before all the time. I will stop you, say please. Huh? So the reason I'm saying this, right? I go to work, right? I go to work and I'm very, very not bothered, but I feel some type of way when I see young people, 18 to 28, 30 years old, and they have a disease or sickness. They're taking medication because either they're this, they're that. The doctor said this, the doctor said this, and that. And that really gives me the answer that, like, how are we going to prosper? How are we gonna, how are we're gonna make this planet better if we're not healthy? Why? Because doctors are making decisions for us. Very simple. How you doing? Hi. So another what's up? So the true value in man, let me rephrase it. Okay, Alex, health. Can you tell me how to be a healthy man, a healthy person? Okay, I will start with, right? To have vigor, okay, as a man, to be healthy, it has two factors. If you are exercising and if you're sleeping, I'm gonna go through the first one, exercise, because people are gonna be confused with this one for some reason. For some reason, people are gonna be confused with exercising, and they think it's to go to the gym, buy a membership, make somebody wealthy and rich, and have your checking account that you can never cancel. All right, that's so true. And the worst is that they don't offer health; they offer membership, right? So exercise is, I have my soldier right here. He's exercising right there. All right, buddy. So exercise in definition is wherever you at, you have to use your own body weight. Okay? You have to use your own body weight. Either you pull, you stretch, you bend, you jump, you duck, right? But you're using your body weight, right? Your body was meant to move, right? And I'm gonna be talking for a while, probably more than 10, 15 minutes about exercise because it's being overused. It is and it's being signaled the wrong message about exercising. And people think that exercising is to go lift weights and go pay for something. Exercise is free, guys. Okay? Exercise is free. I have one dream big and follow your dreams. Yes. Sounds like Martin Luther King, but yeah, kind of, right? So, exercise has nothing to do with gym. I'm going to repeat it again. Exercise has nothing to do with gyms. Exercise has everything to do from where you at, right? Mhm. So, all these people who are promoting to have value as a man, pay attention, all right? I'm not mentioning names. You guys know who they are, all right? And they say, go to the gym. Wrong. You're already going to somewhere else than yourself. All right. What a better place to go than yourself? Huh? There's not a better place. There's not a better place than yourself, right? There isn't. There's nothing wrong to go to the gym. I've been to the gym. I've been to the gym like for 3, 4 months in a row. But then I decided to buy my own stuff and work out at home. Why? Because exercise is confidential, right? Even though you want to do it with people or partners, it's confidential, guys. You don't have to wait for your turn. You don't have to wait for like where's the next no slot available. That's wrong. That's very bad, right? Exercise. This is one of the reasons why people get discouraged in the first place because they listen to the wrong people that they're sending them to the gym, right? Your body, it's your gym, right? Exercise has nothing to do with the gym. Exactly. Exactly. We have a fucking smart guy right here. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Exercise has nothing to do with the gym. Absolutely nothing. Yes. Right? Because exercise is not only physical, it's mental, right? So whenever you do an exercise and you're moving your body, you're exercising, you're moving your body. Whenever you're using your mind, imagining things, feeling things, thinking about something that you want, thinking about something that you don't want, right? With conviction, that's exercising, right? So exercising doesn't embody one thing. Exercising, it's a capsule, physical and spiritual. Okay, that's why I will always disagree to this day. That's why I started my channel because I got tired. I got tired of the BS, the lying, and the bullshit. Because a lot of you guys know that I did 9 years in prison, and I I lived a rough life, right? And sometimes you don't have nothing but yourself. And this is when you say, like, what? I have the most valuable thing in life, myself, right? This is when you start exercising yourself, you start exercising your physical body and your mind. Okay? And I'm gonna attach this to people who say this is why women are not attracted to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, women are not attracted to men because they are exercising. Women, they don't have a choice but to be attracted to men because that's what their nature dictates on them. Men, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this, guys. I don't care if it takes 5, 10, 15, 20 years to get to know this. These motherfuckers are saying that men have to be attractive to attract women. It's a lie. Okay? It's a lie. Women cannot help it but to be attracted to men, period. I don't care if you're skinny, built, or fat. It's just matter of circumstances. That's why war, when people go to war, women start thinking to each other, hey, there's no man no more. We need to have sex with whoever it's in front of us because women have wired in their brain to procreate for the species, for the planet. Women don't know about attractiveness. And I'm going to keep doing videos about this. People are going to say, you're crazy, Alex. I'm not. It's just a matter of time. You guys are going to realize that these motherfuckers who are telling you that you have to work out and you have to have a six pack and money to attract women is the biggest lie ever, ever said, besides of Satan. Hmm? Right? Men attract women regardless if they're fit, regardless if they're handsome, regardless of whatever. But what's the catch? There has to be a catch. It's okay. There has to be a catch, right? What's the catch? Women will fall in love with men with there only a few. Okay? Let me tell this again. All right. I don't believe that going to war it's the best choice. But if we do, we have to understand that war brings a lot of answers that any scientist for 50, 100 years have tried to solve or have. Why? In war, there's only one gender who goes to war physically, all right? Physically. For the most part, I'm talking generally, right? Physically. And it is men. I know you guys are going to take it out of context, but I hope you're not. I'm not religious. I've said it before, but I read religion, Muslim, Judaism, anything. I'm a professional in that stuff. All right. I studied theology. I studied everything. Right. So in the Bible, in the Torah, all right, even in the Quran, the the translation of the Quran, right? In the Bible, it tells you of two sisters. There's a story of two sisters, right? It's in Genesis. When all men are gone, all men are gone. Mhm. And there's the oldest sister and the youngest sister. They're telling each other, we need to have sex with our dad because there's no man out there and we have to procreate. I know it sounds absurd, and I know a lot of you guys gonna be, man, fuck this shit. I don't care. You guys need to listen and learn this very well. Woman doesn't understand status. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't care. I don't care if I'm going against the grain. I don't care. Women don't understand almost nothing. They're stupid for the most part. Yes, I have a children, and you might say you're telling stupid to your wife, to your girl. No, I'm not. But you need to understand that women, they don't understand reason. They they're not meant to understand how to make decisions. Okay? Only men. Okay? This is why we learn in history that men will kill everybody except the women sometimes if they were beautiful or young, because they will keep them. Why? Why will keep a woman who's fertile and young and beautiful? Why? There's only one reason: hmm, to have sex and procreate. And that hasn't changed to this day. It hasn't. It hasn't changed to this day. Right? This is why I promote that men are born with value. Okay? The only thing you have to be careful in the long run is your health, right? That means you're exercising, you're eating your proteins, you're sleeping right, okay? You're eating right. That's the base of human and man's success. I got tired because this is the question, okay, what's man's purpose? What's my purpose on earth, right? That's the question of not even the decade, you know? It's just for 100 years, it has been thousands of years, it has been the question: what's the purpose of man on earth? The purpose of man on earth is to procreate. But if you are unhealthy, you are not healthy, you don't have a healthy body, a healthy mind, how can you procreate? How can you procreate? How can you keep the planet, your country going if you're not healthy? Think about that, guys. Huh? Think about that one, right? Mhm. Are you okay? Mhm. So all this extra credit that we give to women about women need to respect you. Women don't know about respect, guys. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? They don't know about respect. Baby, can you take coin, please? Yeah. He's coughing like he's being a smoker. And he's 3 years old. He hasn't smoked anything. You're going with mommy. Mommy's gonna take you and love you. Yeah, yeah. She has the gift of nurture and loving. Sorry, guys, for the cries. He's just going with mommy. He wants to stay with me, but he's acting out. Okay, so going back. So yeah, I disagree. Garbage, garbage. With all this propaganda, new age about women need to respect you. Women don't know fucking about nothing about respect. They don't even know their name sometimes. They forget, right? They have to tell you, baby, where's my ID? I'm like, baby, it's right here, right? Mhm. So that tells you the answer. I'm not talking down to women. I'm just sharing my experiences, and I want to make men leaders. I want men to understand that, guys, you don't need money, you don't need to have cars to have value. All you need to do is to take care of yourself, self image, hygiene, good teeth, right? And a few muscles. Not a lot of it, just a few. a few muscles, right? And that can be translated into good health, all right? He's strong. Mhm. And I know that it's a paradox. This is kind of like what nobody's talking about. Everybody's telling you that you have to get money. Everybody's telling you that you have to get apps. Everybody's telling you that you have to get a house. Everybody's telling you you have to give this and this and this and this and this to have a woman. Guys, stop chasing and listening to these fucking losers. All right? They are destroying the planet by doing this. You don't have to do anything to attract women just by being a man and taking care of your health and knowing that you're responsible for this planet. Automatically you attract the opposite sex. I just crack up with when I hear how to talk to women. Really? Really? There's a such thing how to talk to women, right? How to talk to women. So let me go back to the basics, right? Man's value is not in what he possesses, in what he possesses. Man's value is if he's healthy enough to procreate. Mhm. There's gonna be a commercial, all right? The commercial is gonna be the American flag if you live here. If not, just take a look of it. All right, back for the commercials. Right? So back, a man's value is not based on what he has, okay? Cars, money, houses. It's not because that's fake. Because once that thing is gone, then you end up with what? Mhm. You end up with what really was the real thing. It's you, right? See, health, a man's value is not only based on what he says, what he gives, how he acts, how he makes people feel, right? I always promote this model because that's my model, right? A leader makes more leaders, not followers, right? What do I mean by this? I don't want people to follow me. I want people to follow themselves. Okay? That's my motto. And this is what I'm going to be saying and sharing with you guys until I die. Mhm. Right? So, and the reason I'm going to mention this is because it's happening. So, men are very hurt, including myself. We all been hurt. We all been crushed. We have swept the leftovers of the residues of our heart because we have been betrayed. We have been betrayed. We have everything, right? But that doesn't mean we give up and we stop being men, right? Women, I have to talk about women for some reason. I have to talk about women so I can contrast to the other side of men, right? Because men, it's on that side, and woman is on this side, right? Let me hear it. I told you about this, right? I told you about this a quarter, right? Heads and tails, right? That's man and woman. Hmm? This is woman and man, right? I'm gonna hear it. Positive. You see the positive? All right. You see the negative, right? I'm gonna put it in the middle. Positive and negative. Hmm? Do you think this battery will work if had positive and positive or negative and negative? It won't. Okay. Stop making man and woman out of your own capsule. Stop making woman out of your own world because they're not. They're part of here saying, hi, what's up, Fayola? They're, what's up? No, they're not. And I'm not hating. I know I'm gonna have a lot of people say you're hating on people who have made it. Like in this world and this planet, who has made it though? Huh? I cannot understand that phrase. When you have your shit together, what does that even mean? Right? Everything's changing, everything's fluctuating up and down. How can you have your stuff together in a world like this? You cannot. You can't. How can you get your shit together when the pendulum is hitting left and right? It takes time. There's a window before it hits its polarity, the end of the stick. There's a window, all right? And you might say, okay, I worked during that window, and that's good. That's very good and smart and intelligent, right? But that doesn't take the fact that women and men cannot exist without each other. Cannot, 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 right? Mm-mm. Cannot. Woman will never respect a man because she doesn't know about respect. This is why I've been telling my brothers, my friends, and everybody, including my dad. He passed away. He passed away like 14, 15, 16 years ago. I told him something. My mom doesn't know nothing about respect because that's not her function, Dad. That's not her role to respect. My dad was confused. My dad looked at me like, you're on drugs. And I'm like, I don't like drugs. I don't. I don't. I like pussy. I like women. I mean, that can be a drug, but I don't like drugs. Honestly, I don't. I don't. So this is when I got intrigued and I said, you know what? I'm going to make my own study. It doesn't matter if it takes my whole life. I'm going to study men and women, both. Mhm. Both. Men are worried if women respect them. Mhm. Women are worried if their man loves them. See what I'm saying? So then you go to the definition of their own words of what their others or whatever they are expecting. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, women are not made to be reasonable or logic. So if they're not logic, they cannot know about respect. So young people, including my youngest brother and my son, listen to people who you have to make your woman respect you. That's like making a lion eat lettuce, basically. Hmm? Essentially, literally. It's like making a lion eat lettuce when you know he's a carnivore. It's not even, it doesn't make sense. It's just like stupid and foolish to think about that. Hmm? Women don't respect men, and men should know this. Men should accept this and know that respect comes from another man, not from a woman. Mhm. Mhm. Respect doesn't come from a woman. Man, if you're listening, your respect, the respect that you deserve, that you have earned, and that you need, and that you want, comes from another man, not from woman. Please don't forget this. It comes from the bottom of my heart. Okay? Alex, what comes from woman? Okay? I'll tell you what comes from woman. There's one thing that comes from woman, and the irony, I'm going to say it again. This is the word. The irony, IRONY, about this is that both benefit from this. What is it? Kids. Kids. When a woman truly loves you, not respects you, because she doesn't know that, right? The only definition when a woman wants you, if I have to say it, it will not be love you, it will be want you, right? If a woman wants you, she will be and will get impregnated by the man that she wants to be pregnant by, right? Men cannot be respected by women. Men can only be respected by other men. And this shouldn't be a sin or a heresy. It should be accepted just like daylight and nightlight, just like the sun and the moon, as natural as that. There's no argument on that. Women, their only happiness comes from giving birth to child. That's the only one. Their careers, garbage. It doesn't matter. Can they create an income? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Hmm? Can they step up for men because men are not developing this skill, this career, and men and I mean women are stepping up on this? Yes. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna make women happy or fulfilled. It doesn't. The only thing that makes a woman fulfilled is kids, right? It's kids. So what's the only thing that makes men fulfilled? It's not only one. For women, it's one thing to have kids from the same father. I forgot that. From the same father, all right? Because this is one of the reasons why there's a lot of hate in this world. Because a lot of women are having kids from different dads, right? And you need to understand as a man, it's already embedded in us that a woman only has to have our kids, not anybody else, right? And when that woman decides to have kids with somebody else, those kids grow up resentful because they know subconsciously, they know that their mom had kids with another man, and that's not good. That's not good. So I'm gonna finish. Women have fulfillment when they have kids from the same dad, from the same man, right? How do men have fulfillment? One, when they procreate, right? With a woman, okay? Second, when he shares what he has experienced in life. A woman cannot do that. A female cannot share her experiences with his son. A dad, even if he is absent, he's the only person because he's a male. He's the only person who's authorized by nature and the universe, first of all, to enjoy the fulfillment, the purpose of having kids. And the second, to share the stories, the pain, the successes, the failures with his offspring. Yeah. Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. It's not money. Mm. It's not, look, son, I have a Lamborghini, a Lambo, Ferrari. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but that's not a priority. Mm. It's not. Mm. And I know it's making a lot of people think, I already know that. I'm a motherfucker. I already know that. And I'm gonna keep talking about this until I die, right? And like I said before, and I will say it again, my message is not for everybody, it's for the few. The few people who are tired of the bullshit, who are really tired of all this bollocks that doesn't create no benefit for nobody, right? I promote and I advocate, I do advocate for that women and men are different We're similar. They cannot exist without each other. They need and want each other. Okay? But they have different functions, right? They have different functions. And if they have different functions, that means that their nature are very different, right? Guys, I have a mother and I had a father, just like you guys. A lot of the BS, a lot of the garbage that has entered in our brain, in our mind, it comes from our family. It comes from our parents. Not because they were evil, sometimes they were, but not all the times. Not all the time. The other side of it is that they didn't know better. They didn't know better and they did their best, but we can do better. Mhm. We can know the difference between female and male. Okay? They coexist, they're different. Okay? Their functions are the opposite. But for they to both exist, they have to embrace the opposites, right? And this is what we have learned today. The value of a man is not in its possession, but in its health, right? If you are a healthy being, if you are exercising enough, sleeping what you have to sleep, then you have the seed, the offspring that the planet needs in the future, right? This is why a lot of women don't want to have sex, but they want to get pregnant. If you know what I mean, right? This will tell you the answer. Women, regardless of how damaged they are and indoctrinate and programmed they are, they still want to get pregnant. And they pick the man. See what I'm saying? They pick the man and they say, I want to be pregnant by this guy or that guy. Because they know that they are the chosen ones by the universe, by the gods, because they have to be very, very picky in what seed they let in, because that's going to be the answer of the future. That's going to be the answer that we need for a better world and for the world that we want to live in for decades, for years, right? I'm gonna wrap this up. Men don't need respect from women because women don't know how to respect because that's not their function. That's not their nature. The only function and nature of women is to have kids from one person, right? And to nurture that offspring until they're adults and they can go on their own. This is their crown, and this is the only title and the only way and the only time they can be named queen. This is the only time they qualify and they're eligible to be called "You're my queen" because they had kids from one dad, they nurtured them, and they didn't poison their minds. And she did her best in raising them, and she let them go because she knows that they need to do their own life and do the same thing all over again. Life is a circle, guys, right? Mhm. but it's a long circle. It takes a while to go all the way up, and it takes a while to go all the way down. Right? God bless. See you guys.